Hello, I'm Owen Bardini, he/they, the Computer Games Promotion and Marketing Assistant at Manchester Met University. Would you like to introduce yourself, your name, and what year you graduated in?
Hello, my name is Wen Tong Wu. I think I prefer my name to be called Tom. And I graduated in 2 years ago, 2022, I
Can you
believe.
briefly tell us what your job role is and what led you to pursue this job position?
Right now, um, my current job role is a quality assurance engineer.
Cool.
So I mainly test softwares and automation tests and making sure, things are in good quality before they go through out to
What
production.
specific aspects of your education do you think were the most valuable in helping you get your job in the industry?
I think mainly just the programming and understanding how application works in general. So, I was studying computer games tech in uni. We had to build an entire application as a team of like video games. It's kind of works the same way in software industry as well. So it's like working as a team, using Jira boards, tracking everything, get GitHub actions, making sure everything is in order. But it's like almost like a same thing, but in software instead of gaming, if that
How
makes
did you
sense.
land your first job, and can you walk us through the application and interview process?
I had two jobs. Okay, so my first ever job was not a job; it's a graduate role. So the day I graduate from uni in 2022, I got a position as a STEP engineering for Java STEP engineering in TSI Software Institute. That's the company code. Um, yeah, an interview process for that, it's quite straightforward. I think they just ring you, normally asking, hey, they look at your application and they kind of interested in you, and then they briefly talk about what you do and stuff like that. Nothing interview with like questions, and then after that they were booking another dates for like a strength based questions and then your technical understandings. Those are proper interviews one, but yeah, they had an initial call and then they do the interview calls after. There's a date time for that. That was for the graduate program. I found this other job, which is the current one I'm in. Which the interview process for that is video call interview. So the first initially, called us in and they ask like chat with us basically, and then after that they send us a strength based interview. At the end of that strength based interview, they give us a technical task to do for like a week, and then they will after that, and then they will book another interview for a technical interview, basically showing them the things they've done, basically the tech task. Like they give a task like, hey, test this page, and just give us your findings and what's your plan and stuff like that. And basically, I just documented everything out and then the test plan and did all that. And then on the interview day, I just walk through what I did and give them my reasons and my thoughts.
Oh.
And yeah.
Were there any challenging parts with transitioning from being just a regular university student to working industry professional?
Difficult part would be, I don't know, I guess there was, at the very beginning, there was a bit of pressure of like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing and stuff like that. Like, you will kind of get worried about that, but then over time, you kind of get used to the team and they kind of like, it's a lot more relaxing than you would think it was.
Nice.
Not as pressure as it is. Maybe it's because I'm working in a smaller company, not a big company. But yeah, the challenges I had was probably, I guess, a lot of things that I don't know about software, kind of, because I would transition from game tech to software, which I had no knowledge software prior to it, apart from programming and how application works.
Oh.
But yeah, other than that, all the networking and like network requests and stuff like that, it's a bit of a first time learning for me. But yeah, as long as you show your understanding and your like ability to learn, I think you're likely to land jobs. To be honest.
Were there any specific skills or tools you learned during your studies that directly contributed to you getting your first job or current job?
Yeah, definitely. So I did object OOP in game tech. That leads me to have a high understanding of how programming works. And with that, I kind of got my basic technical understanding on. That's how I got through my technical interviews. Really using my knowledge from uni for programming. That's the main thing. Another thing would be using GitHub and stuff like that. I've used that before in uni and resolving conflicts and working as a team really.
How
That's the main
important
thing.
was your portfolio in securing your position? And what tips would you give to current students about creating a strong portfolio?
Oh yes, that is very important. So portfolio is very important. They want to know if you have projects in your portfolio, there's something you can talk about. So I did. I forgot to say. I also did an online course before, like a boot camp of transitioning to software development. With that boot camp, I basically did personal projects like using Python, working with like machine learning and stuff like that. Have those projects, I end up creating a website. Not my. I use Wix, by the way. I didn't create my website all by myself. You don't have to do that. That's not a requirement. Only thing you need to do is your project is online and they can view it. And yeah, I just use Wix. I think if you can make your own, that'll be better. Maybe if you're applying for like a software job. But it's not the thing that they look for. Really, they will just look out for your passion. To be honest, like what's your interest and what project you've been doing. Yeah, if you got projects, it's good because you've got stories to tell basically.
Creating any internships, game jams, or side projects during your studies? And did these experiences impact your job search?
Uh, I actually have not done an internship or stuff like that. I did do a Python course during my uni, which I think it was like additional credits.
No.
I did that. I did get to talk about that during interview as well. So if you do those things, it is useful for when talking to whoever's hiring you. They will like to hear your stories, kind of.
Was that the Man Met Rise? So I know those are
I
like
think so.
little side courses we can do.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, Man Met Rise. Yeah,
So
I
think
did
I did one
those.
as well.
Yeah, I did Python. I did. Yeah, I did Python data stuff. But yeah, it's interesting. But
Cool.
it's good to do.
So looking back, is there anything you wish you had done differently during your time as a student that might have made your job searching easier?
Easier. Just learning, to be honest. I wish I had learned more about how things work. Like I didn't learn anything until after I graduate, kind of. If that makes sense. Like I didn't, especially for software side. I wish I had explored more around like the technologies that we use and what live industry, what kind of technology they use. Which I get a more familiar understanding with them before I started, because they are really useful if you know how to use the stuff that they are using. Like Jira, Confluence, GitHub, stuff like that. And also wish I'd done more projects.
Nice.
Well, you can't go wrong with more projects. Probably more, technical projects, because the project I've done is very kind of simple-ish. It's like playing rock paper scissors with a machine learning. That you can probably find it anywhere in YouTube. To be honest, there's probably a tutorial around that, but just more learning, self-learning. I think would be the improvement for getting more jobs.
What advice would you give to current students or recent graduates who are struggling to break into an industry in particular?
Into a game industry. I've not done the game industry. But job in general, only thing I'll be saying is that I know what your passion is, because my passion was programming and automation. So instead of going to game industry, I instead went to software testing and testing, like automate tests. That's my interest is. But I think if you're interested in programming, don't just look for game jobs as like, directly looking for game jobs. Just look for, things that you're interested in, things that what could spark you. Like in my opinion, like if you want to work in the game industry, it's more about portfolios that you needed. You don't have to get straight into the game industry at the very beginning of your uni. You can get a job as a software in kind of anywhere or any application making software. It's as long as they use like GitHub and Jira, it applies every single tech industry. They use that. You can do your portfolio then with your, you know, if you don't have time to do it beforehand, you can do it then. Using making your own games during your own spare time and stuff like that. And especially if you use GitHub and you're more understanding with that, you can collaboratively do making games with your friends. Those options. Well, I guess my advice would be don't be don't be blindsided to one particular job basically. Like if you want to look for gaming industry, you don't have to be getting there at the very beginning. You can slowly make
Thank you
your
very
way
much
there.
for joining us, and I'll see you next time.